it is because of what we have done that we are moving forward by a few steps.
Now at 5, Marion County will begin reopening in just a few days, but not as fast as most of the state. Helping small businesses in Boone County. I'm Nicole Griffin tonight in Zionsville with details on the help that is available right now.
Are you behind on your water or gas bill? Many Hoosiers are struggling right now. The effort one company is making to help get you back on track.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Now at 5, Indianapolis is preparing to take a few steps forward to loosen restrictions on public gatherings and reopen businesses. Good evening to you at 5 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. Mayor Joe Hogsett announced the new steps that will take effect Friday, but Marion County will not reopen as quickly as most of the state. Starting on Friday, public gatherings can increase from 10 to 25 people, including in-person religious services. Non-essential retail businesses can open at 50% capacity. Malls can also reopen with restrictions on capacity and food service. However, other portions of the phase 2 reopening, which many other parts of the state are already in, will not happen yet.
I know that these delays will be frustrating to some, but I assure you that we are making these decisions in an effort not just to reduce the prevalence of COVID-19 in our community now, but also reduce the likelihood that it returns in the future and forces stricter restrictions all over again.
Starting May 22nd, in-person dining will be allowed, but only at restaurants with outdoor seating. Non-essential industrial and manufacturing operations will not open yet, and neither will hair and nail salons, barber shops, or other personal services. But they are targeted for reopening on June 1st with social distancing if the data supports it. Hogsett did not release a timeline yet for the remaining phases of opening the city's economy.
Today, the State Department of Health reported 38 more deaths. The number of deaths has been holding relatively steady for the past couple of days, except for a dip on Saturday. The total number of Hoosiers who have died is 1,482. The number that is climbing, which is a good thing, is the number of Hoosiers who have been tested. You can see the day-to-day growth just since Saturday. As of today, more than 154,000 Hoosiers have been tested. Testing numbers will continue to increase as 30 more testing sites became available this week around the state. There are now more than 170. One of them is at Grand Park in Westfield. It's open today and will be available for testing Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Use door 16 at the Grand Park Event Center off 191st Street.
Well, it's important to know who's got it so we can have you isolate and remove yourself from touch points and high contact areas to help prevent the spread. It also helps us gain valuable scientific data as to how pervasive this is in our community as well.
Anyone who is at high risk because you are 65 or older, have an underlying medical condition, are a member of a minority population, or live with someone who has symptoms, you're encouraged to get tested even if you don't have symptoms. Testing is free, but registration is required. You can sign up at lhi.care/COVID testing. Although the state says 25,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for coronavirus, a new study shows as many as 10 times that number have been infected. A study conducted in late April surveyed people from across the state for a clear snapshot of COVID-19 at the time. Health officials said the data reinforces the importance of social distancing and wearing masks, as nearly 45% of people who tested positive showed no symptoms.
We are showing that our social distancing policies and wearing masks makes a difference. Whereas before in the United States, we never really had this kind of look at this. We didn't know what those social distancing things were going to do exactly. We thought they were going to make the impact that they did, and we've shown that.
The study also found that if you live with somebody who is infected, you are 12 times more likely to be infected yourself.
The Rebound Indiana is sharing options for small business owners that are struggling due to the coronavirus. Our Nicole Griffin is in Boone County tonight, where there is help available. She's finding out how loans through the county's Economic Relief Fund are helping businesses reopen.
No Label Studio Hair Salon here in Zionsville is one of the very first businesses here in Boone County to receive loan money from the Economic Relief Fund. The owner here tells me if it wasn't for that help, she doesn't think she would be able to reopen her doors.
It's amazing to be in the heart of Zionsville just because it is so close to my heart.
3 years after opening her own business in the community she grew up in, things were looking positive for Rio White.
With the pandemic, that was kind of scary, thinking like we're on track, our salon is doing so well.
Rio made the decision to close her doors before the state's order to protect her stylists and their families.
The impact was major. I mean, we went, I think, 8 weeks without any income.
While they couldn't do hair, they were able to still sell products curbside.
We were selling color for people so they could do their roots at home and toners at home.
But even with the product sales, it wasn't enough to pay the bills. Rio was considering every option possible. That's when she learned about the Boone County Small Business Economic Relief Fund.
That was life-saving. At that point, we had already gone through all the savings for my business.
The county's Economic Development Corporation is granting loans up to $10,000 for small businesses with fewer than 30 employees that have been open for at least 2 years.
We want to make sure that we can help as much as possible during this time. It is a smaller loan, but we believe it can serve as a bridge. It could serve as a supplement.
Without that, we would definitely not have been able to reopen. We would have just been waiting for these bigger loans that may or may not come through.
The loan is helping Rio with everything from rent to stocking up on products, money she didn't have that has allowed her to now reopen and welcome clients back inside. Working for you in Zionsville, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And there is $140,000 available in the Economic Relief Fund. Some of that money must be used in Whitestown and Lebanon. Both governments donated $50,000 each to help small businesses reopen. The rest has come from private donations and money the Development Corporation already had.
Through our Rebound Indiana initiative, we also want to make sure you have the resources you need to make a personal comeback from this pandemic. So let's talk about your water and gas bills. Later this week, Citizens Energy will begin an outreach effort via TV, social media, and mail to help 50,000 people with an overdue water and gas bill. Nearly 13,000 were facing disconnection before COVID-19, and their services were kept on before the governor's order. Citizens says it wants to help people set up payment plans, plus connect customers to groups offering financial assistance.
We'll be flexible with customers. We're wanting to contact us. In fact, we want them to contact us now to, if they can, get started on payment arrangements, and at the very least get information about financial assistance sources that are available.
Well, right now, there can be no disconnections. It's a good time, though, to start applying for help. The moratorium could expire June 4th unless it's extended by the governor. You can call 211 to determine the provider which runs the energy assistance program in your area. You can also go to this website. It is eap.ihcda.in.gov. It's on your screen right now. Again, that's eap.ihcda.in.gov. And something new, the feds are awarded the state $17 million to help with energy assistance. The good thing about these dollars is that the funding can go to people usually not eligible for this program. People laid off due to COVID-19 could apply for these dollars.
And many Hoosiers are struggling with anxiety and depression during the pandemic. Troy Washington is working for you to show some ways to handle mental health and help you cope during the coronavirus outbreak. One of those ways includes taking a break, even from us.
Things are changing every day. Millions have filed for unemployment because of the pandemic.
I was laid off from a job before. I was fired before.
On top of that, bills keep coming. Then there's the stress of adjusting to a new normal and the anxiety of trying to find stability during unstable times, or even just feeling down because of all the restrictions in place right now.
Do not allow the outer world to affect your inner peace.
Osadeba Omakaro is the co-founder of Dead the Silence, a nonprofit that has sparked a movement spreading across the nation.
We just kind of developed over time and evolved into what it is Dead to Silence now.
It's a loud message born out of despair. His founding partner, Anthony Duncan, lost his sister to suicide. She silently battled anxiety and depression before cutting her life short.
One thing that we're doing with Dead to Silence is we've created a May Mental Health Challenge.
In observance of Mental Health Awareness Month, they want to change people's outlooks, and they're using social media to do it. Each day during the month of May, there's a different task.
From writing down affirmations to setting out goals to doing the modern dance craze that you might find on Instagram, even something as simple as, taking 5 minutes to meditate.
What would you say about people unplugging from the news?
I think unplugging from the news can be a good thing if it's impacting you negatively.
That's right. There's nothing wrong with relaxing and giving yourself some time to unplug, even from us. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Also, Hoosiers can now use a free online mental health portal. Find out how to access it when you read this story on the IndyChannel.com. And again, we encourage you to even take a break from RTV6. All the news and updates can be overwhelming. When you're ready to come back, we will be right here working for you. Still ahead on the news at 5, from high school students to working on the front lines in fighting the pandemic, the life experience some students could never have expected when the school year started. And it was supposed to be the first race of the IndyCar season. Now St. Petersburg has a new date, and it's an important one.
And we are less than 24 hours away from our big warm-up, but it will come with some storms when some of those could be strong to severe. You're watching RTV6 News at 5.
Just call Summers.
A nursing home is responding to a Call 6 investigation that raised questions about whether facilities are adequately reporting COVID-19 information to families and to the public. On Friday, we introduced you to Pam Ellis. Her mother is COVID-19 positive and is living at Westside Village on Indy's west side. She says the numbers shared by the facility do not match up to what the staff is telling her. Westside Village Health Center's executive director tells RTV6 that as of May 12th, 24 residents have tested positive, 6 residents have died, and 8 workers have tested positive for COVID-19, but the facility says they've all recovered and are now back at work. The executive director tells us, quote, "We extend our sincere condolences to the family and friends of the residents who died. Our facility is a family, and we are all working together to take care of our residents and each other. Communication with loved ones is important to us, and we are emailing updates to responsible parties on a daily basis." Westside Village says a manager also makes phone calls to families to offer additional updates and answers questions that they might have.
Hiring Hoosiers is another RTV6 commitment to you. We are making sure you know of job opportunities of all types, especially now with so many people out of work. The Boone County Economic Development Commission will hold a virtual job fair a week from today to connect people with jobs in the logistics and manufacturing areas. Boone County currently has more than 550 full-time positions in various industries. Next week's job fair is expected to be the first of many. It's set for May 20th at 10:30 a.m. For information on how to join, go to hiringhoosiers.com. And on Thursday, May 21st, the Department of Workforce Development will host a virtual job fair highlighting hundreds of temporary job openings throughout the state with the U.S. Census Bureau. It is scheduled from 11 to noon on Thursday, May 21st. The jobs mostly involved going door-to-door collecting census data from residents. Those who do go out in the field will be given personal protective equipment and sanitizer and safety training. You can find a link to register at hiringhoosiers.com.
They started the school year as students, but now a group of high school seniors is helping on the front lines of the pandemic. RTV6's Alyssa Donovan has the details tonight.
It's an introduction to the medical field these students could have never expected. And now at 17 and 18 years old, they're helping patients through the coronavirus pandemic. Morgan Adams is one of 10 students from the Wabash River Technical Education Center who's now working as a certified nursing assistant, a program they completed earlier in the school year. While their classmates are taking it easy second semester, completing schoolwork at home, these seniors are working long hours in nursing homes across western Indiana.
at the beginning, I was like, oh, this isn't really fair. They get to sleep in. But then I thought about it, and I'm going there for a reason, and I'm helping out any way that I can. So it makes me feel better and feel like I accomplished something.
I'm extremely proud of them. Their instructor, Jennifer Usselman, says she's seen her students mature overnight while assisting on the front lines of the pandemic.
They don't really talk about how stressful it is on them. They're talking about how stressful it is on the residents, on the people that they're taking care of.
Like all seniors, Adams missed her prom, and she missed a graduation ceremony where she would have walked the stage as a valedictorian. But she says the experience she gained working in the medical field during this time is irreplaceable.
I think it's making me more prepared and actually giving me more knowledge and stuff.
And I said, if you can do this and get through this kind of, crisis at your age, I think you're going to make it in the healthcare field.
The instructor says most of these seniors plan to go on to nursing school. And since the pandemic started, she's seen more students signing up for her health career classes. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Thank you, Alyssa. Now, Kyle Mounts joins us with a look at our forecast, and I know we're only going up from here.
We are, and in a big way tomorrow. I know we've all been waiting for it. We've had those clouds rolling in throughout the day, kind of filtering out that sunshine. Camera bouncing a little bit there as we look from the IMS pagoda, as we've got that southeast breeze, and that is going to make the temperature difference. You've enjoyed a little more sunshine, though, around Peru and Muncie today, and you've made it into the middle 60s. But those clouds have kept us in the 50s in Indy and just 55 degrees in the Bloomington area. All right, say hello to Duncan Keith. Barb says he watches the forecast on RTV6 every evening, and I think we've got some work to do to kind of get him impressed, because he looks like he's ready to take the evening off. But I think he'll like this walking forecast. We've got temperatures in the middle 50s still through 11 o'clock, and I think we are going to be dry overnight. We could see a couple of those isolated showers, but temperatures are going to feel better here as you step out the door tomorrow morning. 53 in Indy is where we'll start off, 51 in Richmond, and 54 in Bloomington. But yes, it has been a while since we've had any real spring warmth here. In fact, May 3rd, that was the last time we were in the 70s with a high temperature of 74 degrees. Tomorrow, we're going to get in the 70s in time for the lunch hour, 74 degrees at noon, and we'll see those numbers racing close to the 80-degree mark with occasional chances for a few showers and thunderstorms, but a lot of dry time is expected as well, where I think we'll have those rain chances move in a little earlier in the day. You'll be slightly cooler, but still feeling pretty nice. In Peru at 77, 80 degrees for the high in Indianapolis, and 83 in Columbus. You'll notice it'll be a little more muggy as well. So here's a look at TrueCast as we go to 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Again, a couple of those isolated showers. I don't think we'll see any strong storms as we go through the morning, but a couple of downpours here will work their way through. Then the early afternoon should be fairly quiet before by 3:30 we start to see that line of thunderstorms nearing Crawfordsville into Kokomo moving to the southeast, and then we'll see yet another round, I think, as we go into the overnight hours developing. It'll be a little more widespread here and should weaken as it makes its way to the south going into Friday morning. But we do have a slight risk just north of Indianapolis tomorrow, where some of those storms could be strong to severe, a marginal risk for the rest of the area. Primary threat's going to be some gusty winds here and also some large hail. Those rain chances going to continue to go up and stay with us through the weekend, but dry time in the mix as well. High temperatures in the 70s here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Briefly cooler on Monday, but we'll start to dry things out next week and get those warmer temperatures back with highs in the 70s. Mark?
All right, thank you, Kyle, for that. Hey, we're still waiting for the start of the delayed IndyCar season, but we know the last race of the season will be in St. Petersburg, Florida in October. The Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg was supposed to be the first race of the season in March, but was canceled on short notice due to coronavirus. The rescheduled race is set for Sunday, October 25th now. The first race of the season is now June 6th in Texas. Now still ahead on RTV6, happy teachers, happy students, reunited for some fun at a safe distance after a long separation.
Apply online today.
This has been a hard time for teachers who are separated from their students and students separated from their teachers. But today, some fun for both in McCordsville at a safe distance. That's McCordsville Elementary art teacher Terry Trowbridge leading the musical portion of today's drive-through at the school for students and their families. This is something the school does regularly throughout the year on delayed start Wednesdays, but with kids not in school right now, instructional aide Miss Pat led the charge to continue the tradition, and she stayed true to her tradition of wearing a wig every Wednesday.
See the kids, I miss them so much. The teachers miss them. We just love the kids here. This is what we do.
Teachers lined the parking lot and kids came through waving and holding signs, eager to see familiar faces, but at a very safe distance. Internal emails lead to new questions about a high school's fire drill and the impact that had on a student walkout. All new at 6 p.m., Kara Kenny reveals what those emails say and talks to students who supported the protest. And we'll be back for the news at 6.